Welcome, Raleigh Brown.
Are you having fun yet? Ari, can you bring the house lights up just a little like we had them on the first set? I hate playing into a black void. Well, it brings a tear to my eye when I begin to realize that I've cried so much since you've been gone, and it just keeps on raining on and on and on. Yes, I sit and I cry, just like a little child. These tears of mine they're running wild, and if you don't think you're gonna come home soon, well, I'm gonna drown. Yes, I'm gonna drown in my own tears. Now you know it's true. Into each life well, some rain must pour. Well, I'm so blue, here without you, babe, that it just keeps on raining more and more and more. Well, I've been so blue and so all alone, ever since I woke up and found you gone. And if you don't think you're gonna come home soon, I'm gonna drown in my own tears. I'm gonna drown in my own tears. Drown in my own. I'm running out of air here. Yes, I'm gonna drown Thank you. You hear everything okay? Good. Let's hear it for the sound man, Ari. He's doing a great job. So that song was a hit for Ray Charles, and I learned it originally from the playing of, and then from the actual person of a West Coast iconic guitarist named Steve Mann. And Steve was diagnosed with schizophrenia when he was in his 20s, kind of disappeared off the planet, leaving behind a trail of cassettes that people listened to and copied for years and years. About 35 years later, he resurfaced, and having heard a lot of those cassettes, I went out to San Francisco and spent a little time with him a couple times. He's a wonderful guy, deeply damaged person, but a really wonderful person, and a great guitar player. And that arrangement owes a lot to him. I used to steal him note for note. Now I've kind of, drifted off at least a little bit. And I was thinking about how, I've been playing the guitar for 60 years. And was thinking how probably for each of those years I could name you a guitarist who influenced me, who made me want to sound like them. And the old saying goes that stealing from one person is plagiarism, and stealing from 100 people is research. And that's the way it is for us guitarists. If you listen to enough different people and you learn how to do it like they do it, eventually it melts into the way you do it. So this next tune is actually one I wrote, but it's also highly influenced by both by a man I met, the Reverend Gary Davis, who was one of the two greatest ragtime blues guitarists, and Blind Blake, who was the other of the two greatest ragtime blues guitarists. Blind Blake disappeared in the early 30s, and Reverend Gary Davis lived until 1973, and I got to meet him and spend time with him. So this is called Raleigh's Rag. Thank you. So I'm going to do some original tunes that I wrote and some songs I wrote tonight. The songs are actually on the Songwriter CD, which is out there, and the tunes are on the Sunday Morning CD, which is out there. Just saying. Christmas is only 11 months off. Shopping done after you've bought your Bunny Barnes CDs and your Lippe CDs. Didn't those guys kill it tonight? So impressed. So this next song is kind of autobiographical. About my misspent youth. Now I used to live a hepcat life, had a lot of drama, a lot of strife, staying in some cheap abode. Rent comes due, you hit the road, catch a ride out of town, miss your baby and you feel so down. Call her number and you get some guy, just shrug your shoulders and you go get high. Play the guitar till 3 a.m., breakfast at noon, then you start again. Late nights at the diner with friends to see, for laughter and camaraderie. The sun went down and I was at my best. The sun came up, that's when I would rest. Now I get up with the dawn, I end up working all day long. I don't quite know why or when I became a model citizen. Life used to be messy in many ways, but boy, I sure miss those hepcat days. Yes, I used to live a hepcat life. It had a lot of drama and a lot of strife. Life was messy in many ways, but boy, I sure miss those hepcat days. Thank you. So this is a rarity. I'm doing 3 instrumentals tonight, and I'll do 3 songs. You know, when I was growing up, and when I started playing the guitar, all I wanted, you know, I had been misinformed that I had a good singing voice when I was a kid by a rabbi who wanted me in the choir. You know? And he. And so I took up the guitar thinking, well, I have this great voice, I should be able to accompany myself. And then I gradually said, you know, my voice actually kind of sucks. And I think instead I'll just be an instrumental guitarist. So I fell in love with, you know, the guitar kind of grabbed me by the throat when I was a little kid, and it just never has let go of me. So, but the thing of it is that the guitarists I loved and the ones who influenced me most of them were singers who were able to weave amazing guitar playing in with their songs. And so that's kind of what I still lean towards when I'm not playing instrumentals. Just saying. So this one is going to be an instrumental. I was going to say that this is very unusual because I'm playing 3 of my own instrumentals, and none of them are named after a dog. And almost every instrumental I've ever written has been named after a dog. And this one in particular was named, it originally on the CD, it's called Salvo e Pepe. And Salvo and e Pepe were two fictional detectives, Salvo Montalbano and Pepe Carvalho. And eventually my friend Ann Mintz, who was going to be here tonight, but she was under the weather and hasn't come, I'm afraid. She loved that song so much that I renamed it, so now it's called Salvo and Ann Mintz. And this is it. It's one of my favorite ones I've written. Thank you. I used to, before the pandemic, I used to put up a song once a week. I would sit in my living room or whatever and just put the videotape on, and sometimes I would just make something up. And that instrumental actually came out of me making something up, which was not that, but which was the bones of that. And then liking it so much that I went back to it. I went back and learned it off my own video, and then, started to really compose it and turn it into a piece. Just a little interesting tidbit I wanted to share with you there. And for some of you who already know me, since the beginning of the pandemic, which is now nearly 5 years, I have been doing live stream concerts on Facebook and YouTube. And usually I do one every Wednesday at 3 p.m. and every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. And you can tune in if they're all public, so even if you're not a Facebook friend of mine, you can tune in and listen. They're usually, 4 to 6 songs. kind of like this set, sort of. And I've done 700 of them now. So it's been it means I'm either extremely stubborn or I don't know what the worst choice is. I won't share that with you. So this song, this is another semi-autobiographical song. I mostly travel solo. It's a burden I bear. Out alone on the highway, just trying to get somewhere. My wife would like to come with me, but we just talk on the phone. We never travel together, 'cause we can't leave the dog alone. She loves to go on vacation. That's my wife, not the dog. Up the coast to New England, living high on the hog. Well, I could kill for some lobster. My friends think I'm insane, 'cause it's home in the backyard where me and the dog remain. She came with some issues, the dog, not my wife. She took a bullet in her young years. She was cut with a knife. They couldn't break her spirit, so they called her a Curt. Because when someone got bloody, she made sure it was them and not her. So they gave up on her, left her tied to a tree where two honky-tonk angels picked her up and brought her to me. She checked me over, guess she thought I would do, and I made her a promise. From then on, her hard times were through. She's got one ear that's tattered, there's a scar on her jaw. It's best not to cross her, or she'll lay down the law. She's the perfect companion for an old dog like me, and I try to live up to the man she hoped I might be. She's the perfect companion for an old dog like me. That's called Two Old Dogs. And it was named for my dog Suki, and she passed away a few years ago. But I have another equally problematic dog, so don't worry about me. I have, yeah, apparently so. I made the big mistake. Like I always had Australian Kelpies, who are the Australian sheep herding dog, perfect dogs. And then I couldn't find a Kelpie, so I got an Australian cattle dog, and that was when the trouble began. So anyhow, I'm going to play one more instrumental for you, and then we're going to bring Bunny and Curt back up here. We're going to do a couple more songs for you, and then we will wish you a happy night. Okay? So this song is the title song of the album that's called Sunday Morning. I'll bet you can't guess what it's called. So this is called Sunday Morning. Thank you. Welcome, Curt Lippe and Bunny Barnes, back to the stage. Where are you guys? Don't make me come back there. Hi, kids. Aren't they great tonight? I was so blown away.
I didn't know we were doing more. I was halfway home.
Yeah, turn towards us. I want to see what's going on here. So, this one, you want to introduce this one?
Yeah. We're going to do a great Fat Swaller tune, Honeysuckle Rose. And this is based on an arrangement by Duck Baker, who I mentioned earlier. And that's about all I have to say about it.
Yeah. When Duck plays it, it probably sounds like all three of us together.
You may be right about that. Are you ready?
I hope so. So I want to thank you for joining us this evening. It's been a really, really lovely night for us. I know I enjoyed hearing them and seeing all y'all. And we will be out back afterwards saying hello. And twisting people's arms and making them buy CDs, stuff like that. Not really, but stop by and say hello if you're an old friend or a new friend or whatever. This next tune is our encore for tonight, and because we don't know any more tunes together. Usually I would say that as a joke, but in this case it's actually true. So the ones we know, I think we did pretty well on. But thanks again for joining us. Ronnie Barnes, Curt Lippe, and Raleigh Brown. This is Windy and Warm, written by J.D. Loudermilk for Chet Atkins. Ronnie Barnes, Curt Lippe, I'm Raleigh Brown. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great night. Thank you for coming.
Thanks to Ari with the sound.